Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I just got off work a few hours ago, and so I was running some errands. I had to get some tissue and some other things, and I thought I'd bring up a point real quick. I went to Casey's and got some pizza. Mm, mm-mm. But I wanted to bring up a point real quick about white supremacy and what truly happened in American history. And so, in bringing this up, I want to make a very plain point that African Americans, the blacks, won. And I watched a video talking about how white supremacy failed and it never existed truly. And that's true because if you think about it, its original purpose was to enslave and create an institution where they were on top and superior. But through advocacy, awakening, and um, a conscious awakening, essentially African Americans, brown people, woke people up faster than the supremacist Caucasians that were supremacists could indoctrinate people. I'm going to say it one more time slower. The blacks, and I'm only saying that because that's an institution that you all created, the blacks won. The blacks awakened people faster than the white supremacists could indoctrinate people. So when I say that, I don't mean all black people beat all white people. That's not what I mean. African Americans throughout time, through different people, many people, but I'm going to use major figureheads. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, even Jane Elliott, different people like that. They awakened people, and this world led to the civil rights movement. Well, during the civil rights movement, I'm going to explain something. Supremacists or the American institution was to overpower Africans and Native Americans and create an institution where we were forever slaved, and they created all laws and teachings and we went off their history, but it never happened. It wasn't successful. Even if you say Caucasians, I hear people say this sometimes, which is true, but it infuriates me in the manner they use it. So even if Caucasians all awakened and was the ones that fought other Caucasians to help us, you were still awakened. You didn't go along with the narrative and the indoctrination. Well, where'd that come from? Well, even if you say you didn't like how those people were being treated, if you say you didn't like how we were being treated, essentially you're still saying our brutality awakened you and caused you to go in a different direction. It gave you awareness. I use this philosophy to teach people sometimes that I'm not telling people to cause pain and harm. But what I'm saying is a lot of times pain, oppression, poverty is what causes true awareness. You'll oftentimes, you'll run into nice people everywhere, rich, poor, happy, sad, whatever. But what I'm saying is a lot of times the most humble people and the most appreciative people are people without anything, are people who dealt with pain, are people who were put through situations that were detrimental, that caused torment, which later caused what's the proper word I'm looking for? Trauma. You know what I mean? Oftentimes you may see people being vain because they've never been told no, so to speak, or they are so wealthy and so elitish that they've never been rebuked. And people like that are dangerous sometimes because even if they don't have money or power, they essentially can talk to other people, right, and indoctrinate people. So there's no such thing as white supremacy because the Caucasian nations, not only have they learned from everybody else, but even when dealing with this all white town that's being built, apparently they ran out of money and funding, and they were asking the federal government for help. Well, one problem with that, you can't get federal funding if you're a private institution and don't follow federal laws. Let me explain what I mean. Like PBS, outside of what Trump just did, if PBS only allowed Caucasian viewers to watch PBS, they wouldn't get federal funding. If some of these like soup kitchens or whatever to help people only allowed for like blacks or white, like when they always say only the blacks get help or only the whites get help or only the Asians get da. That's not how the federal government works. Now, the states can rebuke the federal government to an extent. They can deny, like, did you know it could actually be legal to drink at like 16 or 18, but the federal government sets laws. And if the states don't follow those laws, they don't get federal funding. Now, there are certain things the states can do that'll get them invaded and raided if they break certain laws. But essentially, even if you look at the Civil War, they lost the Civil War. Too many people of color, indigenous people, and other people joined the North for freedom and destroyed the South. Even in political situations, I just seen that they just renamed the Robert E. Lee Center to a Buffalo soldier's name, or Fort Robert E. Lee to a Buffalo soldier's name, because too many people are awakened already. It's like a seed, right? Now that the seed has been planted, the person has a choice: which seed do I plant, racism or equality? And more often than not, people are going to choose equality, especially when they're in a group setting. People may go behind doors and go, racism. But I don't respect that kind of racism. That's you're a liberal to me. I don't. It's those ones that come out and be like, get off my lawn, N-word, you can't date my daughter, stay away from me, and everything. Like when I saw Trump, and I keep trying to explain to you all, like, you guys can call Trump racist, but Trump isn't a racist by nature. Trump is a fascist. If there was no black people, okay, I'll give an example. Trump got in office and all these Caucasians have been destroyed. Lost jobs, lost farms, lost businesses. He don't care about them or black people. A racist doesn't put on a chain with sneakers on it and brand new golden sneakers and go, what's up, my blacks? A racist doesn't go, the 13th Amendment was for the African Americans, the children of people who were slaved and hurt, and they can be here. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. I don't fully, to the full extent, know the true power of humanity and what powers we do have. I'm not talking, whatever I am talking about. What I'm saying is I believe people are indoctrinating us so badly because, for one, envy, and for two, to keep people suppressed from initiating this power. How does a seed of enslaved people who are enslaved worse than almost anybody on the planet? I've seen oppression and slavery in other countries, and they were using our skin for leather and burning us alive and cutting off our genitals. I'm telling y'all, dude, this shit has been hidden. And throughout all that, we are now, you hear them saying, oh, we're the ones with all the rights. We're the ones with all. And I've said this before, white supremacy hurt people so bad that they are terrified of oppressed people now. That's crazy to me. If they are equal to people they are oppressed, now they lost rights in their mind. So, I don't know the full extent of our true power and what we truly can do, but inventions, technology, civilization started in the Middle East and Africa, and all different types of humans have contributed. But predominantly the African continent has provided, because everybody that tells me Egypt is an African, you sound fucking nuts. The Hyksos invaded and they got crushed too. It's in written history. Moses led it. And then the Akhenaten, they went back and raided Canaan as bad as the Hyksos raided Africa. Then they try to call the man Joshua. I'm not finna get in all that. The point is, another thing I'm noticing, if supremacy, if you're supreme, why are you lying? Why are you using propaganda tactics? Why are you hiding history? Every time I see something about an African-American ruler, king, great man, the civilization that them people came from in this day and age, after being European washed, go nuts. Arabs. I wouldn't suggest none of y'all go to Egypt. If you go to Egypt talking any of this, the government will arrest you. It's an Arabic nation, I'm telling you. A lot of different other countries do this too. But the truth is getting out, and as I've said before, the Africans have awakened people faster than other people could be indoctrinated. And the truth about our history and oppression is coming forward. You know what I mean? I'm one of those that look at life realistically. After I get done eating this pizza that I got from a general business, I'm finna go inside and make love to my white woman. People that tell me, oh, you're a traitor. Fuck out my face. I don't know you. You wasn't sitting there rolling cigarettes with me when I was broke than a motherfucker, getting tobacco out of butts to survive. Y'all don't know me and my history. Y'all don't know nothing about me. Anybody that feels like you gotta stick with a race, you're becoming your supremacist, whatever. But if for personal reasons you like attracted to whatever race you are attracted to, cool, that's for you. But when you go and try to indoctrinate everybody based on your personal beliefs, that's when the bullshit starts. So, one thing I've noticed, they've tried heavily. They don't respect magic powers and delusions of grandeur, none of this shit psychologically, but have forced Christianity and forced this Bible on people. The oldest Bible is the Codex Sinaiticus. They call it the Dead Sea Scrolls, so people don't know it's from Catholicism. If Catholicism initiated any of this, and they all are Romans and speak Latin, or whatever language they speak now, why do they not know that Jesus means I'm a gracious pig? What's sus in Latin? Why are they perpetuating this? That's like you coming up to me and saying, God's name is fuck you bitch bitch. But in their language, they don't know what fuck you bitch bitch means. And that's just the pronunciation they hear, right? So then when I explain to them, you just said your God is fuck you bitch bitch. They're like, I know it is an ancient name from the ancient. I'm telling y'all. It was Yehohanan. They mocked him and called him yes sus, because sus is Latin for pig, and they was putting horse heads in. I'm not even gonna get all that. The point is, they mocked this man, and his name eventually turned to Yeshu or Yeshua, which comes from ancient Canaan in Africa. It's in their history books. And a lot of this biblical lore they got from Egypt or Kemet, out of a stele. The Arabs have invaded Africa long ago, including the Europeans. If y'all forgot about the Byzantine and everything else, and the Caliphate, then people were not light-skinned. They live in a fucking desert. And this, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory, but I'm starting to believe that there were brown people here. I don't think the Native Americans was this yellow color that they're showing, because that doesn't match with the indigenous and in Australia, in South America. None of that shit matches. And when I look at old pictures of hidden Native Americans from individuals, they were black, just like the Indus Valley. Do I care that people mix? My kids are half white. What I'm saying is, it's the supremacy bullshit that people are trying to usurp. Because little do y'all know, the Codex Sinaiticus, everybody, that's Dead Sea Scrolls. You translate into Hebrew, you're speaking Polish and Yiddish, and that's my great-grandfather's language. I told y'all over and over, his name was Maximilian Braun from Poland. He was running from Hitler. Met my great-grandmother, and then went African-American since. So, I'm just telling y'all that a lot of this stuff, if you follow other people's teachings of what they're teaching you in your head versus using critical thinking skills and understanding how pain can hurt others because you know pain, then I'm telling y'all better wake up and continue. Why you think they're saying woke all of a sudden? Why would you use... Okay, look at what I'm about to tell y'all. And Moses was in... Moses is a real man, right before Kenaton. Moses and Joshua. Moses defeated the Hyksos, and then Joshua invaded Canaan. Kenaton invaded Canaan and cleared all that up and healed all that stuff up. They were pagan, child murdering. Anyways, Amalek and also they were running children through fire. That's where the hell originally in those ancient days, it was the Valley of Himnah. Then it turned into Geohinium. Then it turned into Hades. Then it turned into hell in the lake of fire from Germanic paganism. So even the Vatican is on top of I think it's called it starts with the S. It's an Egyptian burial ground. They got all that stuff from Egypt and Kemet. Before all these Arabs and Hyksos and everybody else invaded Africa, it was black land, Kemet. The 12 judges, the 42 laws of Mu'at, the 12s is from Egypt. The 10 commandments, the 42 laws of Mu'at and Amos are from Egypt. They're trying to hide all this. And another thing I've been noticing, all these Africans that are making fuel out of urine and petroleum or urine and plastics, it's real. Everybody that doubted them, they have centers that do this for real. And then when the Africans get funding to make their own machines, everybody in the comment mocks them and talks shit about them. But if they weren't black, because when I searched it into Google now, urine and plastic, oh, with glee. Yes, you can easily do that. And researchers are trying to learn more on how to do it with urine. But Africans been doing this shit. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm essentially saying certain people in different nations and countries create shit, and then people who claim to be supreme so they don't do anything else usurp on those inventions and things. So, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to tell you how unaware some people are. This is a liberal country. You can talk any shit you want without threatening presidents and police and all that shit. You can talk about who you want without threatening people. outside of defamation if you hurt their business or income or something, which rightfully so, especially if it's false. And totally free country. This is a liberated country. It's a democratic republic. Yet an insult in this liberal free country is lefty liberal. Then with the straight face, they'll be like, commie China fascism. I go check out some of China's propaganda they're talking about. It's protecting their citizens. China actively teaches that Africa was the beginning of civilization now. So does Russia. Russia had pictures in a vault. Now they're talking about, no, it's not real. It's not real. Putin don't have those pictures. Then the Vikings weren't introduced, the Germans and the Polish, they weren't introduced, the Anglo-Saxons, into Roman culture until the Romans invaded them. Jews didn't kill Jews. Nero and his Herod and his wife had 3,600 Jewish people killed because they wouldn't let them take the gold out of Yahweh's vault. YHVH. So once y'all wake up, Yehohanan, Prester John, all the magical John names, Jean-Pierre, Juan, John, Ivan, Yeravani. No, enough. It comes from Yehohanan, not Jesus. That man was crucified, and he had Arabic and African blood. Because there is no Arabic without African. It was Hyksos and Babylonians and all them, and Africans. They mixed and became Arabs. Half of Arab land is blacks. So that's why I don't get too mad at the Arabic culture, because I was watching a video a long time ago of Malcolm X talking to some Caucasians about Semitia and how he's they was calling him anti-Semitic because he was advocating for Arabs and not for the Zionists, right? So then they said, why are you anti-Semitic? And Malcolm X was like, we're Muslims. What are you talking about? He was like, if I'm going to be anti-Semitic, don't you mean the Arabs and the Africans? Oh, and they got pissed. They got pissed. None of these names, Jacob and all these names, none of that come from Poland. Or the Sephardics, the Syrians, the Romans. Italian, I don't even know. So I'm not saying that because I don't like Europe. I'm saying that because I don't like how Europeans are behaving. So, and African Americans and people, every time y'all make videos about black African American, our community needs to do better. Okay, buddy. Why don't you go after the ones making us not do better first, and then we can grow properly? If you put a slave, I hate this analogy, hate slavery or abhor it, but if there was a slave growing in a basement, there's cases of this, and they grow to a certain age, and all they do is teach them to sweep the floor. When they come out to civilization, let's say that slave escapes somebody's basement, then they run out, help, sweep floors, I'm crazy. Now, instead of the people helping them, calling authorities and getting them help, now the people beat their ass and throw stones at them. That's what America has been like. But the blacks have been winning. That on the conservative side, they hate funding and helping, and also all these people lost their jobs in the government and contracts and farmers. Y'all are getting funding. Oh, that all-white town now. They're asking the government for assistance. That's why I brought up, if you're not a public entity, you can't get federal funding. But you think they know that. And then the dude that's building the town, I guess, owes Ecuador or some country, so he fled from there. And I'm going to say this one more time about the crime statistics. If you look at the 2019 crime table, which is why they don't do crime tables no more, 70% of the crime was done by Caucasians, right? Then, watch this. 2% of Caucasians committed crime. 3% of African Americans committed crime. What's 2% of 200 million? What's 3% of 40 million? Then, I watched cold case files for some months with my girl. All Caucasian cases, none of them solved. So I looked up how many murders go unsolved. 7,000 in 1 year. That's a low number, too, in 2019. 6,000 to 7,000. Then I looked up the number of plea deals Caucasians got. And then they ended up getting accidental murder, involuntary manslaughter. Then what makes it even worse, that table isn't convictions, it's arrests. So if 10, 20 people get arrested for one murder, one crime, but all are let go, now it looks like 20 black people committed a murder. None of the statistics are in their favor. We don't commit crime, and we have been peaceful people since our towns have been getting burned down and our villages raided. I'm sorry, not villages. Tell the truth. Y'all found us in civilization. Then y'all tore all our shit down and had a Holocaust in Africa. Right? Remember Belgium? Remember Germany? Remember Portugal? I think we are the gods and we do have power, and something is happening because you don't go this far to oppress somebody if you're supreme. It would be natural. So, wake up, y'all. Life is beautiful. I've been prospering. And nobody's information gets me down, because even if I woke up tomorrow and found out, then I would be the first to be man, right? But y'all don't think like that. Every time I talk to somebody, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a Christian, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I'm a nurse, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a profession, I'm a blah, 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 blah. You are who you fucking are. Those things are in your life. Your character is what dictates who you are, who I am. Put no gods before who I am. Love who I am with all my heart and soul. And obey and respect the 10 Commandments and any other laws to help humanity become more efficient and lead to singularity and prosperity. The fact that we don't have food on farm for free at this point is beyond me. But trying to go to Mars. Wake up, or you can stay asleep. Because when the stampede comes, he who sleeps is going to get trampled.